Hello everyone, welcome back to Alisa Lifestyle Vlog. I am so excited to make this video. I know it's been a while since my last video in YouTube, and I know that you've been waiting for a new video, and thank you so much for all your support. Even though I am not consistent in uploading videos lately, it was just a very busy January and the early start of February. I started my year with my second formal observation, and I'm glad it went really well. I'm just glad I'm done with all the major activities for the year. So for today's video, I'll be sharing to you about center stations. I know many of you are curious about center stations. This was something that was so hard in the beginning of my career here in the US. Like when I arrived here, I really didn't know how to start. I was so overwhelmed doing center stations because this is something that we don't really do in the Philippines. In the Philippines, we used to teach whole class and that's it, right? But here, they do center station. I tell you, this is the best strategy that I've ever learned here in the USA. And if you're interested to know more about center stations, please keep on watching and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more information about living and teaching here in the United States. Before I show you actual center station activities in my own classroom, I will just explain first what is center stations and why are we using it here in the United States. Center stations are differentiated activities that we do here in the United States to address the individual needs of our students. As we all know, our students have different academic needs. In the US, they are very particular with data and students' growth. Principals have monitoring sheets for all classes on how our students doing in class. So they are not just particular with the ending test, but also how are we doing in the middle of the school year? How are we addressing the needs of our students to make sure that at the end of the school year, they would show a good amount of growth? So in order for us to do that, in the beginning of the school year, students here from kindergarten to high school are taking computer-based assessment to determine their proficiency level for that current grade level. In the US, it is standard-based, so the test will also based on what standards they need to learn for that particular grade level. You will be able to generate the scores after 24 hours, and you will be able to see who are highly proficient, proficient, partially proficient, minimally proficient. By the way, this is how we call our students. We don't call them fast learner, slow learner. We call them by their proficiency levels. By knowing their proficiency levels, then you will be able to know who among your students need more time to practice the skills that they need to learn for that current grade level. So having that data will help you start your center stations in your day-to-day classes. So how do we start with our center stations? So first is we need to determine the proficiency level of our students. Now that you have your data and you know the proficiency level of your students, then you can create a team or groups of your students. It is important that you really use your data well because there are times that when we group our students, we just group them without having a basis. So it's important that you have a basis when you're doing your groups. So groups are important because when you're doing center stations, you need to do it in groups. So me, I personally love to do heterogeneous, meaning I don't just put a group of students, all of them are partially proficient or all of them are minimally proficient. I made sure that in a team, there is a highly proficient, partially and minimally proficient. When they're doing their group activity, they would be able to help each other. So that's why it's really important that you intentionally make your groups based on your data. Now, if you have all your groups already, then you need to determine what are the center station activities that you need to do. So it is important that you do something that the students already know or you have practiced it on how to use them, because the goal in center station is they can do the activity with less supervision from you. So make sure that you only let them do something that they can be successful. So in our day-to-day class, in the elementary particularly, we teach whole class still, okay? 10 to 15 minutes, that's what we use to teach whole class. Now, after that, we let the students go to different stations. Of course, I already assign them. I usually have like a PowerPoint presentation flashed on the projector so that they know exactly where are they going. So once you already let the students go to different stations, make sure that everyone are on task, and if there are questions, you need to make sure that you will have assigned students to answer questions before they go to you. We use this sign, ask three before me. So ask three before me means that they need to ask three people, responsible students in your classroom, before coming to you. Limit disruptions, since when you're doing center stations, that's the time also that you're doing small group teaching. So small group and center stations are partners. You are doing center stations because you need to utilize the time to meet your students in small group settings. So now let's talk about small group. Small group are composed of 4 to 5 students. Your focus is to meet your minimally and partially proficient every single day, and your high group maybe once or twice a week. So you will be in a small group table and you will call the students who are, who are in different groups. You will pull them out, call them by their name. And then once they are already in your table, then you can do direct teaching. You need to look at the skills, the lessons, the topic that they missed during the test, and that is what you're gonna work on. We also do guided reading, we also do guided math for math. So there are a lot of things that you can do in small group. And you know what, kids are more confident when we do small group because they can freely ask questions, they can work with a partner, they don't have hesitations to show you exactly what they are having problems with, compared to having your whole group class all the time. So in whole group class, many of the students are not gonna benefit. So yes, some students who are high can really benefit from it, but those who are partially and minimally proficient, they are really struggling and many are falling behind. That's why in small group teaching, you can really work on your students closely and you will be able to monitor their growth, help them with the skills that they're struggling with. The main purpose of center station is for you to meet your students in small group, because without doing center stations, you cannot do your small group teaching. Your other students who are not in your small group at that time, they need to have something meaningful to do while you are meeting these students, So that's why here they have center stations so that you can meet your students in small group. It is important that when you're doing your small group, you need to at least spend 15 to 20 minutes at a time. So meaning not the entire 1 hour, because that's too long. And your other students in center stations will also be very, noisy already if it's too long. 15 to 20 minutes is the usual time that we spend. And after that, they can rotate. So you also do rotations. So it's up to you if you have 1 or 2 rotations. I only do 2 rotations because that's the only thing that I can do, because time is very limited since we have so many activities in the classroom. I only do 2 rotations, so that's 20, so that's 40 minutes of center stations. For me, again, this is the best strategy that I've used so far, and I like it because students are more successful. We can always see them excited about going to centers because that's the time when they can work with their peers and also they can really feel successful in doing a task. So right now, I'm gonna show you some of the center stations that I do in my classroom. So I start with my reading station, and then I'm gonna follow it with my math stations. Stations can vary, so it doesn't need to be the same. Of course, I'm teaching kindergarten, so mine is really very simple. But of course, when you're teaching higher grades, your stations can be more challenging to your students. So, all right, so without further delay, watch this. So that's it, guys. So I hope that I was able to help you in my own little way on how I do center stations. I hope that you like this video, and if you do, please don't forget to click like, share to your friends, and don't forget to let me know how much you like it in the comment section below. Thank you, everyone. I hope to help you in your US journey. Please connect with me through my Facebook page, my Instagram, and all other social media platforms. And maybe I will be able to help you realize your American dream. Thank you, everyone. I hope to see you in my next video.